Speaking of which, ramifications, I think actually we need to bring in one of our workers here. You know him, you love him. He climbs poles in the office. You've seen him. Even Brendan, who we have to have somewhat quarantined here. He's not showing signs. He could be asymptomatic. But it's been a problem in this office. We've had our own. We are not unaffected from the corona scare. Is Brendan there? Brendan, do come in. Hold on a second. Hold on. Wait. Whoa. Is it 6 feet? Brendan?
Yeah, that's the federally... Yeah.
Brendan, grab it.
Do you want me to grab it?
Yeah, grab it and tell me how far it is. Let's see, how far is this?
Well, I got the side that doesn't read anything.
Oh, okay, hold on a second. Let me see.
That's got to be at least 8 feet.
Yep, okay, that's 8 feet. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Keep it. We'll sanitize it afterwards.
I set the chair far enough away so it's 7 feet away.
Is it far enough
should
away?
Be safe.
All right.
Feet, wow.
So, Brendan, do tell me here. Brendan has been usually pretty responsive. Just had the knee surgery. You're feeling better, right?
Yeah, I'm walking.
Good for you. You're making progress. Of course, you were. Where are your He was supposed to have surgical gloves.
Oh no.
No. Dude, we got to.
Brendan, hold up your hands here in front of the microphone. I don't want to ruin the microphone.
That's a good
no, not in front of.
yeah.
I don't want. Hold them closer to me. Hold your. Yeah, there. Okay. Hold on a second. I'll make sure I got this right. There you go. It's Everclear.
Smart.
So, what happened exactly? Because you were not at any risk of coronavirus. Our agreement, the reason we're able to serve you for Mug Club Quarantine Month, that's the hashtag, is we all agreed we will only quarantine at home and in the office. And since it's broken apart, we never have more than 8 people in any room at any given time. And then Brendan happened. Explain the situation a little bit, because we were all very vexed.
Well, so my parents had scheduled to come down in March, months ahead of time.
Right.
Before all that happened.
And the problem was they were non-refundable tickets.
Well, no, they were driving.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's different, yeah.
Well, yeah, they're going to drive down and because they drove down the March before, so it's kind of like a tradition thing.
One could argue it's almost different from last March.
Yeah. Well, then I started seeing that everything was being locked down, and I'm like, hey, maybe you guys should reconsider.
Right.
There's
pandemic.
Yeah, there's that.
And
we probably wouldn't be able to do much. We wouldn't be able to go out.
Did you use the word pandemic?
No.
Oh, well, that was your mistake.
Okay.
So they were a little confused. Okay. So they were driving.
Yeah.
And then they did move it though, right?
Yeah, no, I texted them like, hey, maybe you should reconsider. And they're like, yeah, now that we see that your work is kind of concerned about it and people are locking down everything, maybe it's a good time to
it's global.
postpone it.
Yeah. And so they postponed it.
They postponed it a couple of weeks or something.
Yeah, a couple of weeks. They postponed it to closer to peak. Yeah.
Well, no, then 2 days later they said weather looks pretty good, we're going to come down.
Yeah. See, the issue here is weather was not the delineating factor. That wasn't our primary concern.
Right.
With your...
To be fair, the weather was great, though.
The weather was fantastic.
It was really nice.
It was
very
really nice.
Yeah, I get it. I understand why they would want to why they would want to come down here, but I also don't know that weather is enough of a justification for stopping at every motel and Valero gas station through the country.
I don't know. It was pretty good weather though.
Yes, it was pretty good weather.
Top-notch weather.
So then I was pretty cavalier. Remember, you said hey, can they come into the studio?
Yeah.
Because they're from a pretty rural area.
And that was my idea. They were just coming down to see me. I just thought it would be good to see the studio.
Well, it wasn't, because I didn't think about it, and I was like, well, they live in a rural area. You had to drive an hour growing up to find a Chick-fil-A, right?
Yeah.
Are you sure that there's only a Chick-fil-A 1 hour from you? Have you Google Mapsed it recently?
No, but I mean, it was just whenever we went to Milwaukee, that was
Okay, so you go to Milwaukee for So you would go to Milwaukee, wonderful city, by the way, a lot going on.
Really?
Yeah.
For Chick-fil-A. So did you just stop? Did you drive to the truck stop outside of Milwaukee, exit 194 from Milwaukee?
No.
So you went to downtown Milwaukee for a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Got to get those sweet nuggets.
Okay, so then they did travel, and I was cavalier about it. Remember, I said, you know me, I'm kind of a guilty employer. I'm always like, okay, sure. And I like it. I love Brendan, and I wanted to meet his family. And then I went home, and I explained this to my wife, and she said, are you out of your mind?
I noticed the change the next day. I was like, maybe I shouldn't press for this.
Well, what happened is I said, fine. And then my wife said, well, the issue is, my mother, who's our wardrobe stylist, she doesn't have coronavirus, but she does have pneumonia right now. So that is something which she hasn't been here. hi, Mom. We've kept her working from home, and she has the costumes delivered if someone to go pick it up. So we don't want her in the office. So that was my concern. Right. And then my wife was the one who said, well, it's not really that they come from a rural area. It's that they'd be stopping at all these different locations. And I believe she said that if they deemed it appropriate to drive up in a pandemic, that she wasn't entirely confident that they had hand sanitizer in the car.
I get it. You just hate like farm people. It's fine.
That's pretty much what it is. It's the calluses and the cuticles. And then though, I spoke with half Asian Bill Richmond because I said, well, you know what, I feel bad because I gave Brendan the green light, and then Hillary thinks it's a bad idea. And then Bill brought up a valid point.
Oh, I didn't know Bill was involved in this too.
Yeah, Bill brought up a valid point. He said, I don't think it matters. You know the way Bill is.
I didn't realize how high up this.
I said, what do you mean? I asked him. I said, I'm concerned. I said, because I don't want to go back on my word, you know. And but I understood the concern. And Bill said, well, where is parents staying? I said, that's a good question.
Yeah.
In your one-bedroom apartment.
Well, no. It was if they get kicked out of the campsite that they're staying at.
Right. Were they?
No.
The campground was open.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were in your house because they dropped off beer and an AR-15.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. So
you're infected, man.
So he shows up. All I have is a picture of a case of beer and an AR-15 at his house.
It's worth
and
the
by
risk.
the way, it wasn't even in panorama view, the picture, and I could see the entire apartment.
Yeah. It's a cool gun, though.
It is a very
really nice.
cool
It has a
gun.
scope on it. It's really cool.
But effectively,
really
you
cool
were
gun.
in an incubator.
Well,
And here's the thing, I've always said, Brendan, I truly believe, I'm not just saying this.
I'm
Yeah.
starting to see,
I'm not just saying this. I truly believe that if we were to do IQ tests, Brendan probably has the highest IQ of anyone in this
Oh,
office.
he's really, yeah.
I really do think that's the case. What were you thinking?
Well, and I'll like my parents are usually like really smart too. Like
Right.
Like this is very uncharacteristic.
I imagine you're from good stock.
Like like I'm not trying to like throw them under the bus or anything.
No,
but
of course not.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they have the news, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Well, hold on,
Yeah.
Bruce. What do you think here is going on here with Brendan there, Bruce Lee? Brendan, I have a question for you.
Yes, Bruce.
Are you retarded? That's not nice language. He doesn't
Bruce.
understand. He comes from a place where
Hey,
we're
that's not
allowed.
nice to
We're
say.
not allowed to use that language
No, no,
here,
that's
Bruce. So, what would you like to say? Oh, you looked like you were about to raise your hand.
No.
To say something. What were you going? Well, hold on. You know what? Raise it anyway. Do you have a question? No. What would you like to say to your parents in closing? Because you were concerned that they would feel we're not mocking the parents, but I'm kind of sad because I would have liked to meet your parents.
Right. Yeah.
But I just don't want them, to cough blood on me.
Right. Like contagion.
Yeah.
What do I want to say to them?
Yeah. What do you want to say to them? Because they're going to see this now, and you threw them under the bus.
I'm sorry for making it overcomplicated.
Yeah.
By adding the extra variable of being in the studio.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe we could have them call in and apologize to you for putting you in that situation because this is what he has to do now.
Yeah, it's honestly that's not cool.
This is what he has to do. We can't touch, but we can fist pound.
Let's touch.
No. We haven't. We're supposed to have that. Yeah. Sorry. Oh, there we go. That was really ill timed. Get out. That's enough, Brendan. Oh shoot! I hit the microphone. It's ever clear. It is ever clear. Thank you. Sanitize. Put that in a mask. Put it on the steam cycle in the laundry. That measuring tape.
We love you, Brendan.